What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ruben and I'm doing a series from my private pilot license all the way until my commercial rating, showing you guys the process, the progress, the ups and the downs of getting all these ratings. So I'm about halfway through my instrument rating right now. I just had my first stage check and I passed, so thank God. By the way, before we do get started, Happy New Year to you and your family. Hopefully you guys had a great New Year. All right, let's get into it. What did we go through these past 2 months? I've been struggling on making the videos because honestly, just been really busy with work and school. So yeah, I had the stage check. Everything went really good. We're about halfway through our book. So yeah, we've been doing like precision approaches, non-precision approaches. Haven't really done any holds yet, but we've been reading like through the plates and I'm like super familiar now with everything. There's nothing on this, like the plate, that is really confusing anymore. Like I know, like at the beginning, the like first few months, everything was kind of like a blur because it's just like so much to look at. But now I know what everything means, what every number is, what every sign is, and just getting way more comfortable with it. Also, doing the approaches, like, it's kind of easy. I mean, it kind of sounds bad to say, I guess. That doesn't really sound bad, but it's kind of easy. Like, just, you see the number, you get to that altitude, and that's all there is to it. Like, just follow instructions. Honestly, instrument training is all about following instructions. If you see that number, that's kind of the number you just have to get to, and don't go below it, or whatever the altitude, whatever the sign says. But yeah, the ground knowledge isn't a whole lot. I think for me, private was just so much harder so far. Let me not speak too soon. I want to bite my tongue, but private was just so much information. It was like so much information. But instrument, I mean, so far, like I said, I've only done the first stage check. It's just VOR work. Like if you know your VORs, and obviously you have to know like what WAS is and RAIM and all the different signs and all that stuff. But ultimately, you're kind of just learning and perfecting the VOR systems, the GPS system, but it's not like a whole ton of knowledge that you really need to learn. Rather than for the private, it's like you're still learning on how to like communicate, how to fly. You got a bunch of gauges in front of you, your eyes still trying to adjust. But so far, instrument, like I said, 2 months into it, it's not a whole lot like private was. I also printed this, the Pilot's Cafe. Everybody recommends this, and literally, if you know this packet, and highly suggest you guys printing this as well, and just highlight. Literally, if you know this, you're gonna pass. Like that's what everybody says. So I'm gonna rip through this, and also something that I'm coming to realize is kind of obvious, but like don't forget the private stuff. Like when I had my stage check, they asked me so many private questions, and it's like, dang, I kind of stopped studying those flashcards because I didn't think that the oral would consist of a lot of the private stuff. But yeah, continue going through your private pilot flashcards. That's going to be like the bread and butter for the rest of your career, is what I'm starting to realize. And yeah, I need to start going through those again. Also, I started making instrument rating flashcards. The deck's getting pretty thick. I actually need to make like probably like another 50 to 100 more. In my opinion, private pilot was a lot more information than the instrument stuff, but yeah. Let me know what you guys think. Was private more challenging for you guys than instrument? Obviously, I'm not done with instrument yet, But which one was more challenging, or which one do you find more of a mountain to climb? Also, we've been working in the simulator a whole lot more. Like during my private pilot stage, we would fly pretty often. But now in my instrument training, we're hitting the simulator a whole lot more. And saves you money, which is awesome, right? And it saves you money until you get that technique down. Something that I'm coming to realize with the whole instrument thing is that you need to know how to multitask like crazy. This is like the peak of multitasking, I promise. Because you have to pay attention to obviously all 6 gauges, but yeah, the second you put your focus on like this gauge right here, this one gets like off-centered, you know, or whatever it might be, you know. Maybe your RPMs are off or your speed's too high. So the amount of multitasking skill that you need, it really makes you use your brain. Also, been obviously instrument is all about like VORs, GPS systems, navigating with just your instruments. But I now have like a full understanding of what VORs are. And like when I first got into instrument, the whole VOR thing was kind of a blur. Like I kind of understood it, kind of didn't. But now it's like, boom, I know I'm going away from it. Now I know I'm going to it. I know exactly where I am in correlation to it. There's no confusion at all. And obviously, the more you're at this, the more of an understanding you're going to have of the whole entire thing. I mean, I just counted all my hours. I'm at 119 hours. That means I've only been in the plane for about like 55 times because we do like 2.5 hour blocks. I mean, me flying the plane only 55 times, I have a pretty good understanding. I could fly that plane pretty darn well for only flying a plane 55 times, you know? But yeah, the whole VOR stuff and the whole instrument stuff, even the plates, like, you think at the beginning that you're never going to understand this, especially during the private pilot stage. You're like, bro, what the heck is a VOR? But now it's just, everything's making sense. And you want to understand on why that is what it is, rather than just like memorizing it or not really understanding it. Okay, what else did we go through? I've been soloing a whole lot more, which is awesome. A little bit, like, just getting more comfortable in that plane. Every time I solo, way more comfortable. On the comms, like flying into different airports, one of my instructors said this. He's like, I could tell a big difference. Like if you take 2 pilots, let's say with 200 hours, I could tell a huge difference from a pilot that has a lot of solo time compared to not a lot of solo time. Just because that confidence booster when you are in that plane alone, and the fact that you have to figure it out rather than kind of always looking over to your right, relying on the other pilot. Yeah, I've been flying with the iPad a whole lot more. I got a new knee board. Let me show you guys. I'll put this down in the description if you guys want it. But one thing that, especially through my private pilot stage, I felt like every time I was walking out to the plane, I had like 5 things on me. Do you guys feel like that too? I hate that. I like having everything in like one thing. So I got this knee board, and it's with a zipper. So I always have my POH in here. My iPad, a little scratch pad, my emergency list in here, a pen, and yeah, that's all I need. That way I walk out to the plane with just this, and I'm not carrying my iPad in one hand, my POH in the other, water bottle in another hand. Like, try to condense everything as much as you can. That way you don't forget something in the car or in the plane, or, you know. Anyway, yeah, flying with the iPad a whole lot more. That's super nice too. That's another thing. You have to learn to multitask to such a high level degree, because you're looking down at your iPad and you can't, like, sometimes, especially at the beginning phases where I'm at right now, still a noob pilot, right, under 150 hours. When you look down, like, you'll tend to turn towards one side just a little bit. You know, just small things like that that you just, it's kind of like driving a car. You know, like right now you could probably send a little quick text while you like drive. Obviously not recommended, but obviously not encouraged. But like you could probably look at your phone, change the song real quick, and you're good, you know. But with the plane, same thing. You sometimes got to look up a frequency or look up, I don't know, something on your iPad, and you'll tend to like lean towards one side. So that's just going to come with experience and obviously flying with the iPad more and getting accustomed to looking down at the iPad and flying the plane at the same time. Yeah, that's kind of how my second month has been going. Like I said, just an overall better, like, I'm getting to be a better pilot, and I see it. One thing that I really want to put an emphasis on, and I'm going to transition this to like the motivational part of the video here. We're going to bring that back. Just feed your brain some sort of aviation every day. Some sort of material of aviation every single day. I've realized that with this whole pilot thing, you never stop learning. There's so much information out there, and I was actually at school this last week, and this guy had, I think, like 1,500 hours or like 1,300, something like that, and he was just like, oh, like I didn't even know that. We're talking about like some random topic, I forgot what it was, but even someone with 1,300 hours, he just learned something that day, you know? So it's like you're constantly learning in this game of aviation. It is what it is, you know? Stay persistent in your training. Feed yourself some sort of aviation material every single day, I promise you. You're just going to become a better and a better pilot every single day. Even if you just open your books for 5 to 10 minutes, you're going to benefit from it. Yeah, that's all I have for today, guys. Stay motivated, stay hungry, keep on pushing towards those goals. I'm super hyped. I now need to get my written done, so I've been working towards that. I got Shepherd's Air. Hopefully I pass it. I want to take it sometime in January, but yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching, for your guys' support. Please comment down below. Your guys' support, it means so much, and where you guys are in your guys' journey, especially if you guys are in your instrument training. Let's get through this together. Let's freaking do this thing. All right, guys. See you guys maybe next week. Peace.